So hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, and what is part 7 of my Tamiya 35th scale Land Rover or SAS Land Rover Pink Panther build. So last episode we got it into primer using UMP black primer. In this episode we're going to get some colour on it. So the colours I'm using, well, the pink that I'm using, because it is pink, is X17 by Tamiya. But that's a very stark pink. It's a very bright pink. And looking at reference pictures and of not so much of the restored vehicles, because they are quite a bright pink, but certainly operational vehicles, it was a little bit what's the word, duller. It was almost like a pastel pink. So I don't want to use just this. I want to dull it down a little bit. So the plan is, or the plan was, to use some XF57 buff by Tamiya, and I had a few drops to the pink and mix it until I got a colour I was happy with. So we primed a spoon in UMP black, and then we tested the colour, and first time I was happy with it. So it's more of a light pink, rather than the stark bright pink. This is lighter, it's more dumbed down or dulled down, and it's the colour I'm happy with. So that's what we're going to use. So that was the Tamiya X17, probably about 10% of buff. There's no mass to it, there's no science. It was kind of put a little bit in, mix it up, see what colour it is, and so on and so on. And then thinned about 60-40 with UMP thinner. And we're going to spray that through the UMP apex with a 0.35 needle at about 18 to 20 psi, so a little bit less pressure than we use for the primer. So that's it. So without further ado, we'll head over to the spray booth. Apologies in advance for the noise, because I am going to have to switch my extractor on, compressor, etc. And we'll start putting some colour down on the vehicle, and we're going to do the wheels and everything else. But we'll head over to the spray booth. You can see how I'm going to do it, and yeah, that's it. So as I say, 18 to 20 psi ish. There's no real maths to it. I kind of go by feel and what's coming out the end of the airbrush, and spraying anywhere between 3 to 6 inches away from the model, I find gives it a good finish. So yeah, that's it. We'll head over to the spray booth, and we'll get some colour down on it, which is always a nice part of the build, isn't it? It's always a nice part of the build when you start putting colour down. So yeah, we'll go and do that. Right guys, so here we are at the spray booth, and we're going to spray the mixed pink and buff onto the vehicle. So apologies for the noise. I'm going to switch the extractor on, and we'll get spraying. Cheers. just wait for that compressor to switch off, and there we go. So you can kind of see the kind of colour that we're going for. So it is pink, but it's just a dulled down pink rather than the bright pink out the bowl, which I think just gives it a bit of realism rather than the actual, you know, real bright stark pink. So I'm going to finish spraying this, just do the underside and a few touch-ups and what have you. I'll do that off camera because it's noisy, but you get the idea of how we're progressing with it. So I'm going to do that off camera and spray the centre of the wheels, and then we'll come back face the camera, have a look at it, and I'll say my goodbyes. So I will speak to you all very, very soon. Cheers. So there we go. We've got some colour down, so we're really starting to take shape now. So the vehicle itself, I don't know how well this is going to pick up, but you can see we've got this kind of light pink colour. Obviously there is a lot of overspray on the stowage and also on the running gear, etc. underneath. That will be addressed because obviously we're going to paint the stowage and everything else. So the plan is, what I'm going to do is give that 24 hours or so to properly dry, and then we're going to go in and essentially paint all of the stowage with a base coat of green. Most of it is going to be green, but we'll do the base coat on everything, so I can pick out the stowage so I know exactly where it is. And then what I'm going to do is I need to think which green I'm going to use. It'll be model colour and it will be brush painted, because my airbrush technique is nowhere good enough to get real close in to paint the stowage separately without overspraying everything else. So it will all be brush painted. So I'll put a base coat of green down on it. I'll decide which green I'm going to use, but it will be model colour, thinned just with water. So we'll come back, I'll show you myself doing that. I'll do a couple of bits of it on camera, and then off camera I'll do the rest, and then we'll go in and then start to put highlights on it, shadows, some dry brushing, and get all the stowage done. And then essentially what we're going to do is just a little bit of chipping here and there on the pink, pick out all the details on the dashboard, on the grenade launchers and the chains and all that stuff, and obviously paint the tyres on the wheels. Yeah, so we're getting there. We are getting there. So this is part 7, I believe. So in part 8 we'll look at all the stowage and the detail painting and everything else, and then we're really into weathering. So very dusty, operating in a desert environment, so it's going to be very, very dusty, with some chipping and a few other bits and bobs. Yeah, so we'll come to that that's going to be part 9. We'll start the weathering, and then hopefully if we can get all that done, part 10 will be the kind of finished product, bit of a reveal really, and we'll see how we go with it. There's lots and lots of stowage, as you've seen, so yeah, it's going to be a bit of a painting challenge, but I think the overall effect will definitely produce a semi-decent looking model at the end of it. So far so good. I'm happy with the pink. I didn't want to use the real bright pink. So yeah, so part 8 we'll be painting all the stowage. We'll get it to that stage, we'll clear coat it, and then we're going to move on to weathering, painting some chipping on there, some oil washes, and all that stuff that kind of brings it to life really. So that's it. So for now, stay safe, stay at home if you can, unless you have to go out to work, as I do, but stay at home, stay safe. Excuse me. This lockdown is testing people's patience, but stick with it. It's really important. Stay at home, stay safe, and I will see you all in the next part of the build series, and also hopefully there'll be a bench update over the next couple of days for May with what I've been working on, other other than this. So until then, look after yourselves. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon. Cheers. Happy modelling.